The year 2023 is coming to an end, and many people are asking themselves if Veve and Ecomi was a good investment for them, and most importantly, if it will be a good investment for them in the next 1, 2, 3 years in the mid to long term. Veve has presented in these last days of the year their new product manager Mitch to the community in the Twitter AMA. And finally, the markets have also gone through a very interesting time in 2023 and are headed into more very volatile months in the next year probably. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to address exactly that, the outlook for Ecomi and Veve, and also what has been said in the Twitter spaces yesterday. And by that, I want to give also my personal opinion and view on especially Ecomi and Veve as an investment, but also on the broader NFT and crypto space in this video. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor, not your financial advisor, so please do your own research before you ape full degen into the Veve collectibles and or the Ecomi token. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please smash up the like button to a new all-time high, subscribe to my channel, tick the little bell, select all to get always notified whenever I upload a video or start a live stream. And most importantly, let me know in the comments below what you think about your Veve and Ecomi investments so far, and what you think is going to happen in the mid to long term during 2023 with the Ecomi token and the Veve collectibles. Also, I want to thank my rare hodlers, my Patreons that are still supporting me and that are holding the line throughout this bear market, for always supporting me on my intercontinental journey and for always being here. And also I want to thank each and every one of you that is already subscribed to my channel for supporting me here. I'm slowly heading towards 3,000 subscribers, so thank you all for supporting me during that journey. Now let's get into the topics here. So let's maybe start out with what has been said in the Twitter spaces yesterday, because I think it's a good entry for what is going to happen with Ecomi and Veve in the next year. So in this Twitter space, they have presented their new product manager, Mitch, and as we could have heard, he was really hands-on, really clear-cut statements, and I think he had a great way to address stuff to the community. So my first impression and also my first recommendation for Veve was to bring Mitch to more spaces, because he has this way that doesn't trigger each and every one of the people to communicate why things are being delayed if they are being delayed. And don't get me wrong, still some of these delays are very heavy, like the cash out that we had, but they were coming. So it is very important to have someone who can communicate that, and that has also the technological credibility and the contact from the point of view to the community to communicate such things. So I would strongly recommend for the Veve team to bring him on from time to time to communicate not only why things are being delayed, but also how much workload was behind a specific milestone, even if it is coming out in the correct time and at the correct timeline. I think this is very important for all these early investors that are now going through a bear market, that they can see how much work is being put in specific things like little security updates, but also bigger milestones like the MCP phase 1 that has been delayed. And that is another point that they have addressed in this little AMA or presentation for Mitch, that they have to delay the MCP phase 1 by a couple of weeks, and therefore we will only be seeing it in Q1 of 2023. For me, that is perfectly fine. It will result in prices staying where they are or dripping a little bit lower, but honestly, even with the phase 1 rolled out, probably nothing will change. Prices will stay in the trash while money is expensive in the markets, while the current politics are going on. So prices will stay low in the crypto and also in the NFT space, therefore for Ecomi and the Veve collectibles, until the central banks in the world will change their interest rate hike politics and go to a politic that allows people to spend more money And also we need the other global challenges to be solved for people to feel more confident and to spend more money. And the last thing that I can take from this AMA is that Mitch has basically told us between the lines that there is a lot of garbage and problems within the code and also within the security politics that needs to be cleaned up right now to be able to execute then a higher cadence in product releases, which they will need heading into mass adoption, if it will come, but I'm very confident it will come in the near future. And by the near future, I don't mean next week or the next month, but rather in the end of 2023 when the programs are rolled out, and 2024 when the next bull run could be coming in. It still depends on how the overall global markets develop, but in my opinion this would be the perfect timing. This is also the reason why I'm not so sad about these milestones like MCP not coming out right now. The difference between December and next January, February is not as high as you might feel. I know that many people are heavily in the minus and want to see the prices going up, but I believe that even with the rollout of MCP phase 1, prices will stay where they are. Which brings me to where I see Ecomi and Veve going and what I think about the investment into Ecomi and Veve so far. So full transparency, I own around 400 collectibles, counting collectibles and comics all together. I will post a screenshot here of the collectible numbers that I have. I think the value of those is around 7,500 at the moment. And this is slightly lower than I have put in overall, but I know there are people that are way heavier in the negative than me. On the other hand, I want to stress that you have mostly invested in collectibles that are first appearances of the biggest brands in the world and that are brands that are being collectible. So these are not any no-name brands, but brands that are really heavy, like Disney, like Marvel, like DC, like other brands that are coming out and still are being released as first appearances, like Lamborghini, but they already have brought out car brands like Aston Martin, for example. So you find a lot of these brands there that are big first appearances, and you find yourself in a market where there is almost every drop is still a first appearance of something or a continuation of one of the biggest brands, like the Star Wars series that we are seeing right now. And this should give you some confidence, because if you see that you are so early that almost everything that is being rolled out as a first appearance, you shouldn't be so worried about a very long-term investment. Obviously, the immediate flipping that we were used to in the last bull run, that was already in the beginning of the bear market of the crypto space, that is over. And that is not as lucrative anymore as the other one. But overall, I think with the performance of the brands that we have right now, Veve is going very confident through this bear market, because they are still attracting a lot of other brands and they are still selling out drops with thousands of edition numbers at high prices. And if you compare it to other projects in the bear market, as Frank Kozik said in a Twitter space that was right after the Twitter space of the Mitch presentation, we can see that Veve has weathered the storm quite well. Actually, the values of most portfolios are still quite high compared to the shitcoins that are overall in the market, the little projects, and we see very transparently that Veve is working throughout this bear market on infrastructure, security things like payment in, payment out issues, on drops, on onboarding new licensors. I mean, the Lamborghini thing has been announced on DesignerCon, which is a very big license. So I think we are very, very spoiled in this space, because people are reacting like, oh, another Star Wars drop, oh, another Disney drop. But if you think back 1 year ago when Disney was released, it was so heavy to onboard these brands that so many people came in to the space and got attention. I think this was the drop, the Golden Moments drop from Disney was the drop that most attracted users in all of the history. And now this became a regular thing that Disney is dropping collectibles, but this will attract more and more people the moment that these prices can come up again, and I think this will attract more and more people into the space. If we look at the active users, for example, we can see that throughout this bear market there are still 17,000 weekly active users These statistics have been brought by Veve Fox. If you are not following her on Twitter, you should do that. I will post a screenshot of the tweet right here, where she posts weekly numbers of the active users in the Twitter spaces. Very interesting stuff in my opinion. And I mean, if you go through the space of crypto, you will not find so many projects that still have close to 20,000 weekly active users and market participants that are juggling money back and forth. And you have to see this in the context of global markets, where interest rates are being hiked, where money is getting expensive, where layoffs are happening in a large scale, like the 11,000 people that have been laid off at Facebook Meta, for example. And the market of technology, tech stocks like Tesla, but also other things that are related to technology and in the Wall Street playbook, are being sold. In these markets, the Ecomi token and the Veve collectibles are still at these levels. And yes, in my opinion, they are going to go lower. They are heading lower still in the next months. Probably I will scoop up more there. But overall, I think they are holding fairly strong compared to other coins that have lost 99% of their value, compared to other projects that are not being worked on anymore, where you don't see tweets anymore. There are a lot of projects that got hyped throughout the bull market where you do not see not even weekly activity anymore. And with this, I think Ecomi and Veve is a very viable investment to scoop up and to pick up if you are still confident in the fundamentals of the project. Finally, I just want to address that I think that this tightening politics, hawkish politics by the Fed, is going to continue for another couple of months until we see really that the inflation rate can be curbed. If they cannot curb inflation, they have to go way higher, and then we are going to see more and more pressure on the markets. Probably we have a little more downside towards a final bottom that would be unexpected for Bitcoin. Obviously there are price targets out there that are going as low as 3,000. This could happen, but we really need a big disaster out there. Addressing this big disaster, I want to mention that we have a lot of big deals going on. So for example, in the world markets, Japan is for the first time raising interest rates, and this hasn't happened for many years in the Japanese industry. And as Japanese is one of the bigger capital exporters, this has influence on the world economy. Now, on another scale, more in the crypto market, we also see rumors that Binance could be in trouble. And we see that Binance is acquiring assets of failed exchanges left and right. So the question is, can Binance really carry that weight and can come out as the biggest player in the space overall? Or will Binance collapse as well? In any case, I think it would be the best to remove your assets, even if they are on Binance, because there's no such thing as too big to fail. This does not exist. So if you have your assets on an exchange and they are worth a lot, like not $10, but worth a lot, then you should think about removing them, even if they are on Binance. Because in these times of Lehman-like contagion effects and absolute washouts, you cannot trust in any instance that is not self-custody. And yes, we have no true self-custody in Veve, but I think it's a little bit different because the NFTs are guarded at the moment in the Veve app. There's no choice to remove them, otherwise I would remove these. But for your coins, it is possible to remove them, to get them on a ledger, so you should put in the effort, even if it's uncomfortable, and remove those coins. So this is something that I did when Terra collapsed, and I think everyone should do it, even if they are on Binance. The last point that I want to address, because I haven't mentioned the Ecomi token throughout this video so much, is that Ecomi continues as a token without utility. We cannot forget that with everything that we have heard about the Ecomi token so far, Ecomi token continues to be without utility until they execute something that really brings utility to the Ecomi token. The rest is speculation, the rest is promise, and I think these promises are all going to come true. And we see fairly low prices. Doesn't mean that it can't go lower, but for a token with no value, this is a fair or even an overvaluation that we see right now. So be careful, as I've said many times, when you see large green candles, be careful, because this is the perfect playground for whales to take advantage of the FOMO, of people that see triple zeros and a 7 like right now, and then it pumps up to almost double zeros, and they feel, or you feel, that you are missing out right now. That's it, the bottom is in, and then they are going to dump into that purchase that you're making out of FOMO. So we have seen this now, I think, in the last couple of months, 3 times, 3 bigger pumps that all resulted in even lower lows, and we are on a lower high and lower low trajectory right now, and until that changes, we are expecting lower prices for the Ecomi token until utility is executed on the Ecomi token. So outlook for 2023, in my opinion, in the next videos we are going to go closer into how this utility looks. But the outlook for me in 2023 is the execution of the Omi utility program and the first rounds or the first iterations of the Veveverse as we have seen it in the beta. And it's already going on because the beta has been released to certain people like the Voltaholics to try and test, and I think this is a very good move. It rewards really crazy people that are crazy about the collectibles and showrooms, and on the other side also lets people that are dealing with these showrooms and the collectibles to do the testing and to give the first feedback, and not people that have never used the showroom, or like me have used the showroom once or twice and other than that are just looking from time to time in the AR functionality into their collectibles. So I think there are very big things coming for Ecomi and Veve, but you need to be patient, because I think that the world situation, the world price situation is influencing mainly the prices of token and collectibles, and the fact that people do not have money right now for that influences in that there is no activity on these, not that there would be a lack of fundamentals. So we need to be more patient and we need to wait longer, and you have to expect a phase of at least 6 months to 1 year to see more results. But that is the perfect time to accumulate, in my opinion. This is all not financial advice, but this is what I will do. So I will accumulate a little bit more Omi, a little bit more collectibles from time to time. Last point at this one, I know I said last point before, but now it's really the last point. You have to see, right, I'm very heavy in the collectibles compared to the Omi token. I think the ratio from collectibles to Omi token for me is 7 or 8 to 1, depending on the fluctuation in the market. So if I want to put 50 euros or $50 right now into collectibles, I also have to think how much ADA, how much Omi, how much BTC, how much VeChain or whatever I'm investing in right now in the altcoins could I get for those 50 euros. And when I think about this like that, at the moment the crypto side is more attractive for me than the collectibles side. What I want to do is really think carefully about the DCA, if it's worth right now to invest in the collectibles, because my portfolio of the collectibles has held very, very strong in the last couple of weeks. So let me know in the comments below if you think that it's worth more investing in the crypto side or more in the collectible side, or do you think it's better to follow the dual strategy to put a little bit in both, like 25-25 or so, if you take the example of $50. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night or afternoon, and see you in the next video.